I was hoping. What can you tell me about your library?
We have many books, many scrolls. As you can see, we're not the greatest library in the district, but we the monks copy certain texts so that we'll have them. There's of course the let's see.
Sorry.
Hmm?
I was saying I'm sorry. I'm good with the talking. No.
Collin likes it that way.
I'm the guard.
The Monastery's Chronicles here, which has a history of the monastery. It's constantly growing because they keep adding to it. They have a few occult books, which is common. It's typical, stories about the terrible things in the world that are, trying to kill mankind off or damn them to hell.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to peruse if you can find any information of any value. Yeah, that'd be great. You didn't say exactly like that, but there's a couple other monks in there doing some reading or studying of some kind. There you go.
Yeah.
The library, as the whole monastery, is at your disposal.
All right, I'll get to work.
Oh. What did you call him?
Huh?
Oh.
What did you say? I said I'll get to work.
Oh. So what are you doing?
Can you actually read a little?
Remember, you can read a little.
Yeah.
You know the language. You just can't write You can't write it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start looking for anything that matches our description so far.
There you go. Okay. It'll probably take you, with all the breaks for church, you can most have like one library use scroll per day.
Yeah.
So you can spread this out over several days, though.
Yeah.
You can each make one. Go ahead and double it if you're looking for occult stuff. The library is pretty well.
Double it?
Oh, yeah, because it's pretty well. You can still critical fail for 96 or above. It's still pretty. It's pretty well. They're doing a good job. But like this is over here. This is over here. Organization. Thank you. Yes. God, where is my head?
I was actually gonna ask him if it was organized, but I'll
Very well organized, actually. Still didn't make it? Okay. You find all kinds of random stuff. You found an interesting write-up. Dun dun dun.
Our first clue.
Could be. In the occult books. You want to read it out loud?
Oh, right.
You can, but you don't have to.
Because I can't read it.
No, it would take you a long time, probably.
It would take me about a week to probably get it
Yeah.
out.
You say like 10% of the words and. The Satyricon of Petronius Arbiter. When I was still a slave, we lived in a narrow street. The house is Gavila's now. There, as the gods would have it. I fell in love with, Trenches, the tavern keeper's wife. You all knew Melissa from Parentum, the prettiest of the pretty wenches. Not that I courted her carnally or for venery, but more because she was such a good sort. Nothing I asked did she ever refuse. If she made a penny, I got a half penny, whatever I saved. I put it in her purse, and she never choused. Yes, choose me well. Yeah.
Have fun with that Middle English.
Right. Her husband died when they were. Oh, this is Middle English. We'll all be lost. They were in a country town. Oh, right.
It's an Almanac, but.
So I moved heaven and earth to get to her. True friends, are approved in university. So that my master had gone to Capua to attend various trifles of business, so seizing the opportunity, I persuaded our lodger to accompany me as far as the 5th milestone. He was a soldier, as bold as hell. We got underway about the first cockcrow, with the moon shining as bright as day. We arrived at the tombs. My man lingers behind among the gravestones while I sit down thinking and start counting the gravestones. Presently, I looked back to my comrade. He had stripped off all his clothes and laid them down by the wayside. My heart was in my mouth, and there I stood feeling a dead man. Then he made water all around the clothes, and in an instant changed into a wolf. Don't imagine I'm joking. I would not tell a lie for the finest fortune ever man had. However, I was telling you directly he was turned into a wolf. He set up a howl, and away to the woods. At first I didn't know where I was, but presently I went forward to go gather up his clothes. But lo and behold, they were turned into stone. If a man was like to die of terror, I was that man. Still, I drew my sword and let out at every shadow on the road till one arrived at my sweetheart's house. Rushed in looking like a ghost, soul and body barely sticking together. The sweat was pouring down between my legs. My eyes were set. My wits gone, almost past recovery. Melissa was astounded at my plight, wondering why I was abroad so late. Had you come a little sooner, she said, you might have given us a hand. A wolf broke into the farm and was slaughtered. All the cattle, just as if a butcher had led them. Still, he didn't altogether have the laugh on us. Though he did escape, for one of the laborers ran him through the neck with a pike. After hearing this, I could not close an eye, but directly it was broad daylight. I started off for good Gaius' house, like a peddler off whose pack's been stolen. And coming to the spot where the clothes had been turned into stone, found nothing, whatever, but a pool of blood. When eventually I got home, there lay my soldier abed like a great ox, while a surgeon was dressing his neck. I saw him. He is a werewolf, and I can never afterward be right with him. No, not if he'd killed me. Other people may think what they please. But as for me, if I'm telling you a lie, may your guardian spirits compel me. This is about werewolf.
That's the first thing that in the occult section that strikes you as interesting.
Okay.
And that took you the 11th.
More church.
More church on December 12th. Hooray. There you go. So what are we doing on the 12th then?
Keep looking in the library.
Okay, yeah, you can both make another roll. Library use, double it.
06.
No.
Poor Collin.
Holding the book upside down. Or the scroll upside down.
He's like looking for just like one or two words and like.
Moving on quickly. Okay. Yeah, you find that one then. Another reference to a werewolf, you think?
A soldier recalled the following story, which was said to have befallen his grandfather. This man, his grandfather, supposedly went into the woods to cut wood with one of his kin, and the third man, of whom grandfather always held suspicion that something was not quite right with him, but he couldn't say exactly what that was. Now the three of them had finished their work and were tired, whereupon this third man suggested maybe they should take a nap. And so all three of them lay down on the ground, but he, the grandfather, only feigned sleep and opened his eyes a little. The third man looked around to see if the other two were asleep, and when he thought so, he put on a belt and became a werewolf. Such a werewolf does not look exactly like a natural wolf, but somewhat different. Then he ran away to a nearby meadow where a young colt was grazing. He fell upon the colt and ate him, skin, hair, and all. He came back, took the belt off again, and then lay down in human form. After a while, when they got up, they went home to the city, and when they came to the city gate, the third man complained of the stomach ache. Grandfather secretly whispered in his ear, I believe that since you've got a horse, skin, hair, and all in your belly. The other man answered him, if you said that to me in the woods, you'd not be here to say anything now.
More werewolf stuff. That takes up most of your 12th. So, each of you can make me a listen check. After you go to bed that night.
No.
No? Okay. You're still...
Actually, I put points to listen to.
Luck, then, for either one, for both of you. You wake up from an unsettled sleep because you think you hear a noise outside. Outside of the window. Yeah, it's shuttered right now.
Kind of crack it open.
Yeah, you unhook it and the shutters come in. Yeah, you can peek outside. You see a form in a red monk's cowl with the hood pulled over his head, sneaking from the main house to the church.
I'm gonna wake the father.
Okay.
Is that very unusual? That they
Yeah. They should all be sleeping right now. They shouldn't be wandering around outside on the grounds.
Does anybody in the Catholic Church usually wear red hoods?
No. The monks all wear black. And you're wearing black.
Little Red Riding Hood.
What do you want to do? He relates to you.
Would it be bad of me to sneak out of my room though? Okay, then I'll.
You're
I'll
investigating.
Yeah.
This is suspicious. Yeah, you'd be fine with that.
Well, I just don't want to be like, the monks come like, what are you doing out of here?
They might, but you're still well within your.
You have conditions.
Yeah, you're well within your rights as investigator of this mess.
Bishop said you.
Yeah.
You don't have like I said, you don't have unilateral power. Let me put your. There you go. Let me know when you want more of that stuff. It's really good. But yeah. What do you want to do?
No, I'll go up.
What are you doing, Colin?
I'm putting my boiled leather on.
It takes like half a minute.
Yeah.
Are you gonna wait for him? You heading out by yourself?
No,
Okay.
no, wait.
You're set up.
I'll leave the great axe and just kind of keep the short sword.
Okay. You guys go downstairs and out the front door. As you're walking towards the church, the elms sway in the night wind. It's cold. In the distance, a plaintive howl of a wolf sounds, and you involuntarily turn in the direction of the sound. And as you turn back around, the trees seem to have grown larger, while the church seems shrunken. The whole courtyard seems strangely distorted, its dimensions shifting further, and the trees shooting up into the sky, their branches and twigs as thick as towers, pushing walls and stones aside and wriggling through the air in an eerie life of their own, as if seeking blood to drink. They keep coming closer. They want you.
The trees are
sanity
werewolves.
check. The trees are werewolves. And you both made it. Okay, lose a point of sanity. And then we black out. You come to, you're not sure how much time has passed, it's still dark. It's still very cold. You're both very cold now. You've been laying on the cold ground in the dark. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna check out the church.
Okay. Adalbert is heading towards the church.
I need to say a prayer.
You can say a prayer. You say a prayer, yeah.
and then I'll fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Adalbert arrives at the church first. Push open the front door. How do you want to approach this?
Kind of slowly open the door.
Okay. It's very dark in there. There is some light coming in through the stained glass windows, which doesn't help a lot because it's stained glass. But you can make out the forms of the pews, the statues in the what are they called? On either side, transepts, the statues in the transepts, the altar in the front. You don't see anybody in here.
Is there any candles near the door?
Sure. There's some candles near the door. They're not lit.
Is there anything to light them with?
Make a luck check. See if one of the monks left behind flint and steel.
Got it.
There is a little. You search around about the time that Father Weißwald arrives. You have found flint and steel tucked behind, and you're working on it, making sparks, trying to get the candles lit. It takes a little while, but you finally get one of the candles lit. The shadows are awful. They seem to move of their own accord, especially in the transepts behind the statues. They're like,
I'll light a candle too.
okay, you can find another candle and light it. There's light. It's not really comforting, but you're not seeing anybody.
Nothing look out of place.
No, everything looks like the same as you've been to several masses. You know this building pretty well. Everything looks exactly the same as it did before.
like sweep around it.
Okay.
Do I know about how long it's been since we left our room to?
No idea. You don't know how long you were passed out.
Even
Could've been an
by
hour.
the time of day.
It's night.
Oh, it's night
Remember?
still.
Yeah, it's still night. Oh, it's definitely still night.
Oh.
Not sure exactly. You're very cold. Make a medicine check. How about that? Take a penalty die. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, take a penalty die and make a medicine check.
What does that mean?
So, remember? We talked about this.
Oh,
Add this
advantage.
to your roll.
Thing, or
And whichever
disadvantage.
tens is higher is the one we'll use. So, 61
Out of 50.
out of 50. Okay, you're not sure. You have no idea.
Man, I would have got an 01.
Oh well.
Hey, we got to incorporate some of these rules. And there's very little chance that using medicine you'd be able to figure out how long you were laying there.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave you a penalty die. You're not sure. It's still night. It couldn't have been hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been 24 hours. Didn't they notice this? So, obviously not. It wasn't that long. You're searching around. You don't find anybody in there, nothing in there out of the ordinary. Are you searching?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're looking around, nothing. It's, very quiet.
Is there any way to figure out what would have knocked us out?
You don't have any wounds on you. It seemed like the whole vision or whatever it was like overwhelming. Remember the trees were just getting huge and coming at you, and then all of a sudden everything just went black.
Were there any strange smells or something?
No strange smells. No weird noises. It was all very quiet. Nothing like anything you've ever experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't
Okay,
be long
yeah,
till the
okay.
next mass, so. I can't do
It's
it.
not. Somebody comes and wakes you. You get some sleep,
Yeah.
but not a whole lot. And there are masses the next day on the 13th.
More libraries. I'm glad I put voice in that. Are we okay here for?
Okay, yes, yeah. You guys can go to the library the next day again. Make a check. Double it again. Oh, two. Holy crap.
36.
He found that one word that he's looking for.
We'll let Collin find this one since he rolled better. Another. It's in another book. It's another legend of some kind. This one has an illustration. Ooh.
See when you
Just read it.
when Yuletide is past, a boy with only one leg limps around and addresses all who have given over to evil, of whom there is a great number, and bids them follow. Some of them waver and lag behind, so another large, tall man is there, who drives them on by. Let's see. Meters. Then with a scourge made of iron wire and little chains braided together, he scourges the people so horribly that even long after one can see spots and scars on their bodies, which they find very painful.
Beating them with the scourge.
Yeah. Oh, I see now. Oh, yeah. Not very painful. As soon as they raise themselves up to follow him, it appears that they lay aside their former shapes and are transformed into wolves. A couple thousand of them come together, and the leader with the iron scourge in his hand at the fore, when they are led into a field, they fall upon the livestock horribly and tear to pieces whatever they can grasp, whereby they do great damage. Out to harm men is forbidden to them. If they arrive at a river, the leader plunges in his rod or scourge, parting it so that they may cross on dry feet. When 12 days pass, they lay aside their werewolf forms and become men again.
None of these types are matching up.
None of the what? None of the types are matching up?
Text.
None of the text. Okay, yeah.
They keep talking about damage and eating people whole.
Well, no, they never eat people.
Or cat.
They only eat livestock. It's forbidden.
Oh.
Not to harm them is forbidden. But why do the kids die?
Someone's gone rogue. Another child is discovered dead that day, too. 13th.
Oh.
It is even hot. The atmosphere of the village, it explodes. He's found in a completely different location than the others, about a mile north of the monastery.
That's where we came.
Yes.
Oh, where was the little girl found?
By the stones on the south again.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
he was
let's
found
double
here,
check.
he was found here.
And the other kids were found down here.
Yes.
Were they found? The other two?
Two of them were found by the stone giant, and the other one was like a mile south of the stone giant.
Oh, the previous kids, not the fourth.
Yeah.
Right. No, these has just been the girl. You haven't really talked to the villagers. You've gone straight up into like total like library use. So you haven't really talked to any of the villagers about this yet. But yeah, she was found not far from the bearded giant. But you didn't get any more details than that yet, because you didn't talk to the men. They didn't really seem in the mood to talk that night either. Anyway, they seemed really upset about their find. There's a lot of mistrust. People are saying it has to be somebody local, from what you learned from the monks. The monks are trying to settle the villagers' differences. You hear that as well, but they're having some difficulty. And you guys spent the whole day in the library, so that ends the 13th for you.
Okay.
And that night you have nightmares. You see the mighty elms and their shadows and the lost and lonely shape of a little child. As the child reaches its hands imploringly, the surroundings slowly tint to red, and a stentorian chant resounds out of the void. The child falls to its knees and covers its face, while the chanting voice slides more and more at a time until each sings on his own, creating a dreadful cacophony, swelling to a deafening roar as a gloating laughter rises above the din. You wake bathed in sweat, despite the fact that your room is freezing cold. I mean, you guys have blankets, but the cell has no heat, so it's just icy almost in there. It's a little girl, was the child of your dream. You don't recognize her. You never saw her before in your life.
Balance of the humors.
So you learned that you both had the same terrible dream and woke up right about the same time.
Yeah.
There was a knock on your door, and you both woke up terrified. And sometime during the next day, you can realize you can talk to each other and find out that you had the same dream, and those elms again were coming at you and all that stuff. Okay. What do y'all want to do on the 14th?
I kind of want to go see the bearded giant. I guess where the first girl was found.
You can. You guys can split up too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like unless he's going off someplace that you think would be dangerous, you could split up. I mean, you're charged with protecting him. That doesn't mean you can't go off and do something if he's just going to go to the library.
He's going to be found in the library. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Take Gertrude.
Take what?
Gertrude.
Gertrude the mule.
Yes.
Do I take? I'll take Gertrude.
She can sense stuff that you cannot.
Are you taking the mule?
I'm just gonna shake my head and fine.
But then do you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you could be like, fine, I'll take Gertrude, and just walk out of the place, not even tell him you're going to take him. I mean, that's always an option.
Make sure you brush her well.
I take the apple out of your hand, just take it to him.
Okay. So you take Gertrude, and you're going to go south about a mile from the village to see the bearded giant. Or what are you doing, Ashton?
Library.
Okay.
I'm still baffled because all these werewolf things.
Okay, make a roll. You've gotten most of the occult section done. You can finish it off today, you think?
Oh.
No, you don't find anything else that seems pertinent to the case at hand. So, library, you think that you have
Dried up
dried up the occult section of the library. You've checked every book.
Are there any other sections?
There's religious books. There's some history books. There's that history of the monastery. I mean, that thing's volumes long.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But it is local.
That's super. Yeah, it's about the monastery. So, because the monks basically keep track of stuff that happens.
How old is it?
It goes back to the founding of the monastery.
I want to look at that.
Okay. You use
Next,
today up.
yeah.
You can use that the next day. You've gone down to the bearded giant.
Frustrating day.
The
At least I dried up the resources now.
yes, you're pretty certain that you checked all the occult books. You even double checked the ones he was checking.
Yeah. Yeah. That was what I did today.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So, he checked out these books. All right, let's see what's going on. He did find something that one day though, but that was the same book he's been looking at for the last 3 days.
Like my pile of books that I checked over, and you're like
one book.
Yeah, one book.
Okay, I'm on the next. I'm on stage 4. Shut up.
Yeah.
Where's the bearded giant?
A zine.
Locked. Shoot. The bearded giant. Okay. Yes, it's a boulder with the shape of a stooped, bearded giant. It's huge. The thing is massive. It's like as big as a house. You're looking around, and you can actually do more than just look at the bearded giant during the day too. You'd have time to do more than just come down here if you don't find anything. Gertrude doesn't seem pleased being near the bearded giant, actually. For some reason, the mule kind of shies away from it. Kind of seems skittish when you lead her over to kind of examine this gigantic stone.
Is she pulling pretty hard, or is it just...
Yeah, she don't want to go near it. She seems uncomfortable with the bearded giant. But otherwise, you're not really able to find out where the bodies potentially were found, or anything like that. The 14th is I have a timer here. I got to keep track of it. Okay. Yeah. So, what else do you want to do today?
So there was just nothing around there other than the stab or the boulder just scaring.
Yeah, and then there's other boulders that are much smaller that resemble. If you look if you squint real hard, there might be another giant falling down. That kind of thing. Yeah, she's sleepy. I'm glad she's relaxed.